I wanted to talk about this thing that I've been kind of becoming more and more aware of recently, which is I have really made some seriously bold moves as I've progressed through my career, especially in recent years. And I we're talking leaps forward in changing my business, in investing with mentors, in kind of going all in every way, time, energy, money, all the things on different things. And what I noticed was kind of this traditional mindset or perspective that would creep in the beginning. So if I went all in on something and I didn't immediately get the result, say the financial result or whatever, then it would this thing would creep in like I was failing, and it would be like, now you're never going to be able to buy a house, and this is going to happen, and all of these things. And I just, it used to be this mental battle, because obviously mindset work is such a big part of what I do, about reframing, trying to hold the vision, trying to hold the vibes, while in the face of what on the surface kind of seemed like catastrophe. And as time progressed, and I've really been noticing this more and more lately, there'll be those gaps, and there'll be these moments where it feels like things aren't working, or I don't have the evidence yet, but I don't have this big catastrophe. I see it very differently. I see it as, this is the story that I'm going to be telling one day on the stage of my success. This is the story I'm going to be telling of how much I believed in myself, and how all in I went, and how many bumps there were on the road. And I think this really matters, because this is not conventional wisdom. This is not the way that most people look at things. Most people, I meet people all the time that tell me about the dream that they almost got to. I met this guy, and he was telling me about how he had this vision to produce, I can't remember if it was a movie or a documentary, and he had gotten almost there. Like he had gotten funding, and he had gotten actors, and they had filmed it, and they got like 75% of the way there. And then he had run out of money, and I remember just listening to him. What do you mean you ran out of money? And he's like, well, we needed 50 more grand to finish. And I was like 50 grand. 50 grand is nothing in the scope of like possibilities in getting investments, especially if you have something to show. Like, man, you weren't failing. You were like one step away from your destiny, and you tripped. And this is what our conventional coding, this is the way most people look at things, is like, oh, it didn't work. We see all the memes of the person like digging in the diamond mine, and they're this close to finding the diamond, and then they give up. But I realize what this feels like for me is this knowing that's developed over time of, when it's hard, I still know who I am. And I think what's really changed is this valuing of the outside world, in terms of evidence, in terms of number, in terms of what happened, and has really shifted into this valuing of my inside world, of me. I know what I'm worth no matter what. If I pitch a big client, or if I'm putting something out there and it doesn't get the response that I want, it doesn't change the way that I feel about myself. It doesn't change the way that I value myself. It doesn't change what I'm worth to me. And that has changed everything for me. Being able to be on the surface, having, not the things that, not the thing that you would want, or being in a stressful situation and saying, this doesn't mean anything about me, that I am worthy and I am a match for all of my dreams and all of the success and the destiny and all of the things. It has changed everything. And I think a big part of that is, it's allowed me to free up. Like, it doesn't take as much mental effort to constantly come back to that place. It used to be this dance of coming back to, it's going to be okay, coming back to, it's all going to work out. And I'm like, no, it just is. It just is. And things are getting better and better all the time. Things are ramping up. And so I feel like that really is a reflection and a response of this kind of, yeah, just this knowing that's developed over time. And it's funny, because I'm in a mastermind right now, and I'm getting asked a lot of questions about different things. And someone was asking me today, like, what's changed over time? And I feel like, well, I did the subconscious work and I had mentors and I did the conscious work and I've done so many things, but it's also the journey. It's like the journeying towards who I am and who I'm going to be, and then no matter what behind it. And, people have really come and go during that time. I've had new people come in that love me and believe in me and aren't triggered by my bigness and can hold that vision and that dream for who I am and where I want to go. And I've had a lot of people fall away. It's interesting because I feel like my relationship with people in general has changed. I don't mean with a specific person. I mean with like having people in my life. There was a time where, I started to go in this direction and people thought I was crazy and there was a lot of resistance and people didn't believe in me. And then kind of after I did it, there were the people that celebrated, but then also kind of fell away. And I thought that was that. And then, I had these people in my life that really loved when I was a hypnotherapist. They loved the success that I was having at that level. And I thought that was it. I thought those people would go with me forever, but they didn't. As I got to more and more, I feel like feels like authenticity, as I found myself more and more and I started to dream bigger and go after bigger things and create more success and more all the things, all the good things. Some of those people that I thought would be with me forever were triggered and we had stuff and they kind of fell away. And it really me to reflect on what is it that I actually want from people. Because I think that so often we have all of these things. We have this wound where we want to be seen. We have this need to be needed. We have this want for people to connect with us. But I think, and it's funny because I just made a connection because I'm thinking about this for an upcoming offer, but I think we have these core desires. And one of them is the desire to be seen, to be truly seen in all that we are. I think about that partner that you have that just sees you to the depths, to your core of who you really are. And it's interesting because where we have this desire to connect, we'll often give up that true need to be truly seen. So I think what happens is, people come along and they love us and it feels good and we get this network and connection and community. And they were like, well, this is good. I have connection. And we stay in this safeness of how we're a match for that instead of truly stepping into this is who I am and this is how I'm going to be seen. Because the being seen by others, it only comes when we truly see ourselves. And for a lot of us, it doesn't actually feel safe. I'm talking about on an unconscious level. It doesn't feel safe to truly be ourselves, to truly step into our dreams, to truly be authentically all that we are, because some of those connections are going to fall away. And there's often a time for extraordinary people where it feels lonely. You've probably heard it's lonely at the top, but this amazing thing happens as we step into this deeper seeing of ourselves. And I think this is kind of what I'm saying is like that I got to the point with me is like, I'm going to see myself. I'm going to see myself no matter what, and all of my bigness and all that I can be authentically, unapologetically me. And as I step into more of that, there are these people that I see, that I find, that I connect with, that I just love and love me. And I don't know that those are the people that are going to be with forever. And I've made peace with that too. Because I think the journey to being fully who we are, and I'm not saying that we always have to lose people and it's going to be all painful and lonely, because I don't think that that's true at all. I think an entirely new paradigm is being born with amazing people that are able to hold incredible space and love for each other. And I've experienced so much of that in my life. And I know that I am that for other extraordinary people. And it's just like, it's magic. Like I don't even have words for that. It's just so incredible. But I think there is this choice that maybe feels like a sense of risk as we let go of the things that aren't serving us, that aren't a match for all the things that we want. And I guess today I want to invite you to just be okay with that, to be okay with the letting go, the things that you thought you needed, the people that you thought you had to have, the milestones in your life that were the supposed tos, that were supposed to be the road marker for success, that were supposed to be the milestones that meant you'd made it. I feel this in my body. Can you let this all go? And can you be who you truly are? And can you trust? Can you hold that trust in the face of what looks like things aren't working? And can you know that you were meant for your desires with this kind of detachment from exactly how it comes? I think that for me has really become the magic formula. It's like this open arms welcoming, this beautiful seeing of myself, and this kind of surrender to how it flows and how it comes. As we step into that, it is quite spectacular how our lives change. And I'm just remembering when I wanted to come and talk about today, so I'm going to get back on topic. Kind of went off on a tangent. But part of this too is realizing that we all have these difficult periods, these dark periods. Some of the greatest, most successful people in the world have had, difficulties. Like Beyonce had imposter syndrome. There's so many celebrities deal with things like imposter syndrome, doubt. Lady Gaga said, she feels like this. She sometimes feels like, that young girl that got made fun of in high school. Like we all have these dark phases. But our ability to see ourselves and see the brilliance in us, see the authenticity, see the magic in us in those times changes your ability to navigate those times. It was like I used to go through this thing, and it was kind of like this spectrum. There's like the best self, like Michael Edwards, amazing celebrity, changing the world, all the things. And it's like I'm that. And then when things are hard, it's like I drop back to, I feel again like that person who was living in my mom's basement and who was failing. And I cannot tell you how many times I went through that and I felt like that failure again, even when on the surface it looked like I had all the things. And then it's like over time, that spectrum has shortened and shortened and shortened. And I've become more and more. I can be in the dark time. I can be in the struggle. I can be in the what seems like things aren't working, but I just know. I am that. And I don't need people to tell me. It's always helpful. I think we have this thing with validation, like we shouldn't need it. Fuck that. We love validation. We can't need it. We've got to see ourselves, but we can celebrate it. Human beings love validation. And there's a piece about taking feedback from reality. We want that. It's good when people are validating us. It's got to be here first. It's got to be, I'm the one, I see the vision. And it's funny, I was thinking about this summer. I've been really focused on building into some things this summer. And I didn't do a whole bunch of life stuff. And then I was like, oh, I wasted the summer, like I should have done more stuff. But then I was thinking about it. I'm like, but did I actually feel like doing it? Or did I feel like doing this? And when it's done and I've built the stuff and I have the magic and I don't know, in Paris, like sipping champagne on some rooftop, like it's going to be so worth it that I went all in during this time. And that's the vision that I hold. That's the perspective shift where it's like, yeah, like this is the time of putting the energy and this is the time of putting the work in. And even when there's gaps, it's like, well, I'm transitioning to something bigger. And my ability to hold that has changed my ability to move forward because I don't constantly feel like I have to dig myself out of a rut when it feels like things aren't working. It's more like, okay, this is where we're going and physical reality hasn't caught up yet, but like we're fucking going. So catch me if you can, Amy says, perfect timing. No accident that I popped on Facebook during this live. I really needed this. I'm so glad. I think we all do. And that's the thing is when we struggle, we feel like it's us. We feel like it's us and that we're broken and that we're wrong. And we forget to hold that bigger vision for ourselves. But you've got to be the one to hold it first. This is a lesson I wish I had learned sooner. I've got to be the one to hold the vision for me first. And as I see myself and as I see the vision for me and I hold it, I start to find people that can hold the vision for me with me. And that is like magic. Those people are unicorn, diamond, pineapple, just royalty of life. And they are worth everything. But they only come when you see it first. It's like the next iteration of the realizing no one's coming to save you. The people I speak to, they already know no one's coming to save them. They're already saved themselves. But the next step is holding the vision not in spite of people, that sounds like, but like absent anyone else holding it. The people that hold the vision with you, they come when you can hold the vision yourself. And more as I work with these extraordinary leaders, performers, creatives, entrepreneurs, I see how it's like I see them as like the vision I get is like they've got the mud of mediocrity on them. It's like I met this guy a while ago and he was talking about how he's built this incredible business and empire, and he gets criticisms from people sometimes, and about being too controlling, or like he's too reactive sometimes. And I was like, no, no, no. And so he feels like these things are bad, so he's suppressing. That's so often what we do. We don't understand. We suppress. And I was like, no, 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 man. You are a visionary leader. You just haven't learned yet to channel these qualities into their most productive nature. So that reactivity that you've got there, that's actually passion. That's your fire. You have to how to channel that into passion. The people around you, they tell you it's bad because they don't get it, because they don't have the passion, because they're not visionary leaders. That's why they work for you. If you listen to the people that work for you, if you listen to the people that are there, and it's not to bash anyone, but that aren't doing that huge thing, like they don't have the codes for the huge thing. But we miss that. And that desire to connect, where overseeing ourselves, we take on what other people say, and we miss elevating ourselves into our gifts and our most extraordinary frequency. Similarly, that part of him was like, well, people say I'm controlling in this way. Oh, I just got a notification that I think I'm supposed to be on something right now. Okay, I'm just going to finish this thought and then I'm going to jump off. Similarly, this piece where people were saying that he's controlling, that's actually leadership. It just hasn't been elevated into that yet. It was like, for him, instead of squashing down to meet everybody else where they are, it's like this polishing off and understanding, this self-seeing, this letting himself sparkle, because that's the version of him that's going to be a match and create the big vision that he has for his life. The version of him that dims himself down and becomes more ordinary to accommodate other people, that's the person that when they're 90 is lying in bed and has the coulda, shoulda, woulda story. We are not here for that. We are here to sparkle. We are here to be extraordinary. We are here to be all that we can be in this lifetime. So let that magic into your heart. Be as big as you are, and don't apologize to anybody for being you, for having the dreams that you have, and you go out there and you shine your light and you do all the things and have the impact on the world. I have to jump off because I literally have a call right now that I didn't realize when I started this live. So I'm sending you so much love. Thank you for joining me. Leave me a comment and let me know you're here, and bye for now.